Transformation begins with a decision. A quiet, inner moment when you finally say, "Enough." Becoming unrecognizable in 90 days is not about vanity or impressing others. It is about dismantling the person who has been living in fear, doubt, and passivity. The Stoics teach us that real change begins within. That external results are merely the shadows of inner reform. The first step is self-awareness. To stand before the mirror of your own mind and see clearly the habits, thoughts, and emotions that define you. Most people never do this. They drift through life repeating the same patterns, trapped in the inertia of their own comfort. But you, if you truly wish to become unrecognizable, must see yourself with brutal honesty. You must confront the lies you've told yourself, the justifications you've clung to, and the comfort that has slowly numbed your potential. The next 90 days are not a countdown to perfection, but a battle against the inertia of your past self. You are not competing with anyone else. You are competing with your weaker self. The one that hides from discipline, avoids discomfort, and fears judgment. The Stoic path demands that you act according to reason, not impulse. When you begin to master your impulses, the urge to complain, procrastinate, or indulge, you begin to rewire your mind for control. And when control becomes your default state, you start to become unrecognizable. Not because you've changed physically yet, but because you now live deliberately while the world sleepwalks. The foundation of Stoic transformation lies in discipline, the unwavering commitment to act rightly regardless of feeling. Feelings are fickle, but principles are eternal. For the next 90 days, discipline must be your religion. Every action, no matter how small, will be a declaration of who you are becoming. Wake early, not because it is fashionable, but because it signifies control over your impulses. Exercise daily, not merely for physical strength, but to forge mental resilience through discomfort. Eat cleanly, not as punishment, but as a demonstration of self-respect. The Stoics believed that virtue was expressed through action, not intention. So do not wait to feel motivated. Act, and motivation will follow as a byproduct. When you wake up early even when tired, when you train even when uninspired, when you stay calm in the face of provocation, you are writing new instructions into your mind. These repeated actions create identity. After 30 days, people might notice you look different. After 60, they might sense your energy has changed. And after 90, they won't recognize you. Not because of the mirror, but because of the aura of control you now emit. The man or woman who governs themselves radiates quiet power. One of the fastest ways to become unrecognizable is to master your emotions. In a world ruled by reaction, Stoicism teaches restraint. Every insult, every inconvenience, every setback. These are tests from the universe asking, how strong is your inner citadel? Most people crumble under small frustrations because they have trained their minds to overreact, but you will not. For 90 days, you will practice emotional control as if your peace were sacred. Because it is. When anger arises, you will pause. When anxiety knocks, you will breathe. When fear whispers, you will act anyway. Stoicism does not tell you to suppress emotion, but to understand it. When you can separate stimulus from response, to see that you control your reaction, you gain power that no one can take. Imagine the difference between two versions of yourself. One controlled by every emotion, another unmoved, calm, deliberate. Which one do you think commands respect? Which one do you think becomes unrecognizable to the old self? The journey is internal, but its reflection is external. People will notice your composure. They will sense something different in your presence. A stillness that only comes from mastery. Another Stoic cornerstone in your 90-day transformation is the concept of amor fati, the love of fate. It means to embrace whatever happens, not as an obstacle, but as fuel for growth. In these 3 months, life will test you. You may face unexpected difficulties, failures, or resistance from others who dislike your new discipline. But this is necessary. Every great transformation requires resistance, just as muscles require weight to grow. Amor fati teaches you to say good to everything that happens, because everything can be used. Missed an opportunity. Good, more time to improve. Felt tired and had to push harder. Good. Your will is being tempered. Criticized by others. Good. You are learning detachment. The one who loves their fate cannot be broken. When you stop labeling events as good or bad and instead see them as material for virtue, you become unstoppable. Over 90 days, this mental alchemy will make you glow differently. Where others see chaos, you see training. Where others complain, you thank. That shift alone will make you unrecognizable, because peace amid chaos is the rarest strength. If you wish to become unrecognizable, change your relationship with time. The Stoics constantly reminded themselves of mortality. Memento mori, remember you will die. This is not morbid, it is liberating. Every wasted hour is a piece of your life you will never get back. For the next 90 days, treat time as sacred currency. Audit your days with honesty. How many hours are lost to distraction, social media, or meaningless conversation? Every time you indulge in these, you trade your potential for comfort. Marcus Aurelius said, "You could leave life right now." Let that determine what you do, say, and think. When you live with death in mind, procrastination dies. You begin to live urgently, not anxiously. You stop saying, "someday," because you understand that someday is not guaranteed. In 90 days of focused time, you can build a new identity, skill, or body that others might take years to achieve. The key is consistency, not perfection. The old you wasted time, the new you invests it. When you live with purpose, even your presence changes. You walk differently, speak differently, think differently. People will look at you and feel something has shifted, because it has. To become unrecognizable, you must learn the art of solitude. Most people fear being alone because silence reveals the truth they have been running from. The Stoics sought solitude not to escape the world, but to sharpen their inner world. When you spend time alone, without distraction, without noise, without the constant validation of others, you begin to hear your own thoughts clearly. You start to realize how much of your life has been shaped by external expectations. For the next 90 days, make solitude a daily ritual. Spend time each morning or evening reflecting, writing, or simply sitting with your thoughts. This is where clarity is born. When you remove noise, you uncover your real desires. What truly matters to you, not what society has convinced you to chase. The old version of you needed company to feel important. The new version draws strength from silence. This silence is not loneliness, it is power. It is where you learn to listen to reason instead of impulse. Over time, solitude will make you more self-contained, more grounded, more composed. People will sense it. They will feel your presence differently, because true peace cannot be faked. When you learn to be at ease with yourself, you become immune to manipulation and emotional chaos. The Stoic in solitude is never lonely, because he carries the whole universe within. The next transformation lies in mastering your environment. The Stoics believed that while you cannot control external events, you can control the conditions that influence your actions. Environment shapes behavior more powerfully than willpower. If your surroundings are cluttered, chaotic, and filled with distractions, discipline becomes harder. For the next 90 days, build an environment that aligns with your highest self. Clean your space, remove the unnecessary, and design a physical world that reflects order and focus. Simplify your digital life too. Unfollow negativity, delete apps that steal time, mute voices that drain energy. Create a routine that supports your goals. Your phone, desk, room, and even the people you keep around should push you forward, not hold you back. Epictetus said, "If you wish to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." That means you may have to detach from people who mock your discipline, from habits that offer comfort but kill growth. As your environment changes, your identity follows. When you walk into a clean, intentional space, your mind becomes organized. When you wake up to silence instead of chaos, your focus sharpens. In 90 days, the old you, distracted, messy, reactive, will be gone, replaced by someone who radiates structure and control. No transformation is complete without conquering the body. The Stoics saw the body as a servant of the mind, not to be worshipped, but to be disciplined. Seneca wrote that we should train our bodies so that they can obey the mind without hesitation. For the next 90 days, treat your body as a forge for character. Exercise daily, not for appearance, but for the strengthening of will. Every repetition, every bead of sweat, every early morning workout is a small victory over laziness. When your body resists, that is the moment to push harder, because resistance is where transformation begins. The Stoics embraced voluntary discomfort, fasting, cold exposure, physical strain, as a way to build endurance. Try fasting for clarity, walking in silence, taking cold showers, or training when your mind says no. Each act of discomfort builds inner steel. As your body changes, your mind follows. Strength breeds confidence. Posture changes energy, and energy changes how people perceive you. When you carry yourself with quiet strength, you become someone others notice without understanding why. That is the power of embodied Stoicism, not vanity, but visible virtue. In 90 days, you will not just look different, you will move differently, with calm, purpose, and power. One of the most profound Stoic transformations happens through controlling speech. Most people speak too much, too carelessly, and too emotionally. The Stoics practiced measured, intentional speech, words aligned with reason, not impulse. For the next 90 days, watch your tongue, speak only when necessary, and when you do, let your words carry weight. Avoid gossip, avoid complaint, Avoid exaggeration. The old you might have filled silence with noise to feel important. The new you will let silence speak for you. People will start noticing that you talk less, but say more. You will develop an aura of authority because restraint is rare. Marcus Aurelius said that our character is revealed not just by what we do, but by what we choose not to say. Every time you resist the urge to argue, prove yourself, or vent frustration, you are training mastery. Your energy becomes focused, your reputation grows, and your peace remains untouched. Speech discipline also transforms your thinking. When you speak less, you observe more, and observation breeds wisdom. After 90 days, your voice, once reactive and scattered, will carry calm certainty. You will have become unrecognizable, not louder, but quieter, sharper, and more respected. To become unrecognizable, you must also develop unshakable focus. In a world addicted to distraction, concentration is a superpower. Stoicism teaches that attention is life itself. Whatever captures your attention controls your mind. For 90 days, you must reclaim your attention from the endless noise. Limit social media, silence notifications, and spend more time doing deep, uninterrupted work. Focus is not about doing more, it is about doing what matters deeply. Choose 1 or 2 meaningful goals and give them your full devotion. Whether it is learning a skill, building strength, or creating something lasting, pour your energy into it without scattering it across trivial pursuits. Focus requires saying no. No to laziness, no to distraction, no to people who waste your time. Each time you choose concentration over chaos, you train your brain for mastery. The Stoics lived deliberately. Every action done with intention. Adopt the same principle. When you walk, walk. When you work, work. When you rest, rest. Be fully present in everything. In 90 days, this intense focus will separate you from 99% of people who drift through their days. The old you was scattered. The new you is precise. That precision will make you look, think, and feel like an entirely new person. The next evolution in becoming unrecognizable lies in detachment, the art of emotional independence. The Stoics believed that freedom is found not in getting what you want, but in wanting less. For 90 days, practice detachment from external validation, outcomes, and possessions. This does not mean apathy, refusing to let externals dictate your peace. Most people live like puppets, pulled by the strings of praise and criticism. If someone approves, they feel good. If someone disapproves, they collapse. But you must not. The moment your happiness depends on others, you lose control of your life. Detachment means learning to say, I do not control what others think, but I control how I respond. Detachment also applies to results. You can control your effort, not the outcome. When you learn to act without attachment, you become unshakable. Whether success or failure comes, your equilibrium remains. You are no longer moved by temporary highs or crushed by temporary lows. This calm power will make you stand out in a world of emotional turbulence. Detachment also helps you appreciate things more deeply because you no longer cling. You simply experience. After 90 days of living detached but engaged, you will notice that stress fades, peace deepens, and others begin to wonder how you stay calm while everything else burns. That calmness is your new identity, born from the Stoic truth that nothing external can harm the soul unless you allow it. Another critical layer in transformation is humility. The Stoic masters, Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca, were all powerful men in different ways, yet they constantly reminded themselves of their smallness. They understood that arrogance blinds growth. For the next 90 days, practice humility as strength. Admit when you do not know, learn eagerly, and let go of the need to appear superior. The ego resists humility because it fears invisibility, but the paradox is that humility makes you truly great. The old you sought recognition, the new you seeks understanding. The old you defended your opinions, the new you questions them. The Stoics saw humility not as self-deprecation, but as realism, seeing yourself as neither greater nor lesser than anyone, but as a rational being among equals. In humility, you become teachable, and the moment you become teachable, your growth accelerates beyond imagination. Humility also shields you from emotional harm because you no longer take offense easily. When insulted, you think, perhaps they are right, or perhaps they are mistaken, and move on. No pride to defend means no wounds to suffer. After 90 days of humble discipline, you will appear calm, wise, and grounded. People will feel safe around you because you carry no egoic tension. You will have become unrecognizable, not for your dominance, but for your grace. To become truly unrecognizable, you must also develop gratitude as a daily discipline. Gratitude is not a sentimental act. It is a Stoic weapon against discontent. The Stoics taught that happiness is not found in having more, but in needing less. Each morning for the next 90 days, begin your day by listing what you already have: health, mind, breath, opportunities, lessons, even challenges. When you recognize abundance in the present, desire loses its grip. Gratitude trains the mind to see sufficiency where it once saw lack. It also reprograms emotional patterns. You become less reactive, less envious, less anxious. Life's storms still come, but they no longer drown you. Marcus Aurelius began his days by reminding himself of the people he would meet. Some ungrateful, some dishonest, some selfish. And yet, he thanked the universe for the chance to practice virtue among them. Gratitude shifts your focus from control to appreciation, from scarcity to service. When you carry gratitude into your work, relationships, and solitude, you radiate peace. Others will feel it, even if they cannot explain it. They will see someone who does not complain, who does not compare, who does not crumble, and that alone will make you unrecognizable in a culture of entitlement. Gratitude, practiced daily, is alchemy. It turns everything you have into enough, and everything you do into purpose. Your transformation also depends on consistency, the quiet, repetitive discipline that builds character over time. Stoicism is not about grand gestures or sudden enlightenment. It is about showing up every day, even when no one watches. For 90 days, consistency will be your greatest ally. Wake up, train, study, reflect, rest, repeat. It will feel dull at times, it will feel invisible. But that is how mastery is born. The Stoics taught that excellence is not an act, but a habit. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you carve a new groove into your identity. The old you acted by emotion, the new you acts by principle. Over 90 days, your brain rewires itself through repeated action. Small, consistent improvements compound into massive change. The world celebrates intensity, but Stoicism honors consistency. The quiet worker who endures, the student who keeps learning, the soul who keeps practicing virtue regardless of reward. Consistency also builds trust, both with others and with yourself. The moment you start keeping promises to yourself, your self-respect returns. After 90 days, you will realize that transformation was never about doing extraordinary things once, but ordinary things relentlessly. Consistency turns habits into identity, and identity into destiny. That is how you become unrecognizable, through 1,000 small victories, invisible to others but deeply known to you. The path to becoming unrecognizable also requires mastering the present moment. Stoicism teaches that all suffering comes from resisting what is, or obsessing over what was or might be. The mind that cannot stay in the present is always restless. For 90 days, practice full presence in everything. Your work, your meals, your walks, your conversations. When your mind drifts to worry or regret, bring it gently back to now. The old you lived in distraction, replaying the past, or fearing the future. The new you lives fully where life actually happens. Here and now. The Stoics compared the present moment to a fortress. If you guard it, nothing can invade your peace. Each time you catch yourself spiraling into thought, breathe deeply and remind yourself, this moment is enough. Living in the present also enhances your performance. When you are fully focused, your mind functions at its highest potential. You will make better decisions, feel calmer, and enjoy deeper fulfillment. After 90 days of mindfulness, people will radiate groundedness. People will notice the absence of chaos in your demeanor. No rush, no panic, just clarity. That serenity is not accidental, it is trained presence. In a world of constant distraction, a calm, present mind is revolutionary and unmistakably unrecognizable. To become truly unrecognizable, you must develop an unbreakable sense of purpose. The Stoics believed that a person without purpose is like a ship without a rudder, easily tossed by every wave of circumstance. Purpose gives direction to discipline, meaning to suffering, and strength to perseverance. For the next 90 days, define clearly why you wake up each morning. What drives you beyond comfort? What mission pulls you forward even when motivation fades? This purpose need not be grand or public. It can be as simple as becoming the best version of yourself, serving your family with honor, or contributing meaningfully to the world. Once you anchor your actions to purpose, distractions lose their power. You stop chasing fleeting pleasures and start building a legacy. The Stoics lived by their philosophy, not for fame, but for integrity. Their purpose was virtue itself. Let your purpose become your compass. Every time temptation arises, remind yourself of who you are and what you stand for. When you act in alignment with purpose, life becomes simpler. Decisions become clear, because anything that does not serve your mission automatically fades. Over 90 days, this alignment will reshape you. People will see the difference. The focus in your eyes, the clarity in your tone, the calm in your behavior. The old you wandered, the new you moves with intention. Purpose transforms existence into art, and you, the artist, become unrecognizable to your former self. To sustain transformation, you must also learn to embrace pain. Pain is not your enemy. It is the gatekeeper of growth. The Stoics saw adversity as essential training for the soul, a forge where weakness is burned away. For 90 days, whenever pain appears, do not flee from it. Whether it's physical discomfort, emotional struggle, or mental exhaustion, meet it with courage and reason. Say to yourself, this too is part of my training. Each challenge is a teacher disguised as hardship. When you are rejected, you learn self-sufficiency. When you fail, you learn humility. When you suffer, you learn endurance. The modern world encourages avoidance, to escape, distract, or numb, but the Stoic way is to endure with dignity. Pain refines character, it strips away illusion. When you stop running from it, you discover that pain loses power. The person who embraces discomfort becomes unstoppable, because there is nothing left to fear. Imagine who you will be after 90 days of facing pain head on. Physically stronger, mentally sharper, emotionally tougher. You will no longer dread life's blows. You will welcome them as sharpening stones for your spirit. The old you sought comfort, the new you seeks challenge. That shift in relationship to pain is one of the clearest signs of transformation. Becoming unrecognizable also requires forgiveness, both of others and of yourself. The Stoics understood that resentment is a self-inflicted wound. To hold anger toward others is to poison your own peace. For the next 90 days, release old grudges. Recognize that every person acts according to their understanding and ignorance. Just as you have, holding on to blame only chains you to the past. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. Let go not because others deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Forgive yourself too, for wasted time, bad choices, and old habits." Self-forgiveness is not weakness, it is acknowledgement followed by action. When you forgive, you free up energy that was once consumed by bitterness. That energy can now be used to create, to grow, to serve. The old you carried emotional baggage that clouded your judgment. The new you travels light, unburdened. Forgiveness brings lightness to your step, softness to your expression, and clarity to your mind. People will notice a quiet kindness in you, the absence of tension that once surrounded your presence. That serenity is the mark of someone who has transcended the past. In forgiving, you rise above. And in rising, you become unrecognizable to those who still dwell in resentment. Another pillar of your Stoic transformation is contribution. True growth is never selfish. It must extend beyond the self. For 90 days, commit to contributing value. Through your work, your kindness, your discipline, or your wisdom. The Stoics believed that virtue expressed through service is the highest form of living. When you improve yourself, it is not merely for your own benefit, but to better serve the world around you. Teach what you learn. Inspire by example. Be patient with those who are still trapped where you once were. Contribution also keeps the ego in check, because it reminds you that your growth is part of a greater whole. The old you may have sought recognition, the new you seeks usefulness. The more you serve, the less you crave attention, because fulfillment comes from within. Service gives meaning to your discipline, compassion to your strength, and humanity to your Stoicism. After 90 days of intentional contribution, you will feel a profound sense of connection to life itself. The people around you will sense your quiet generosity. Not through words, but through presence. Contribution transforms power into purpose, and purpose into legacy. That is the true Stoic ideal, to live in such a way that your very being benefits others. In the final stage of becoming unrecognizable, you will realize that the transformation was never about creating a new version of yourself. It was about uncovering the real one. The Stoics taught that every human already carries reason, strength, and virtue within. The task is to remove the noise that hides it. After 90 days of discipline, reflection, and endurance, you will not merely have changed. You will have remembered who you truly are. The fears that once controlled you will seem small. The distractions that once ruled you will feel foreign. You will stand taller, think clearer, and move with quiet confidence. People will notice, but they won't understand how you changed so much in so little time. They will see a glow that comes not from luxury or luck, but from mastery. You will have become unrecognizable. Not because you turned into someone else, but because you finally stopped betraying yourself. The Stoic life is not about perfection, it is about progress. You will still stumble, but now you will rise faster, wiser, calmer. And as you continue walking this path, you will inspire others to begin their own. 90 days will have passed, but your transformation will have only begun. A journey without end, a discipline without applause, a freedom that no one can take. The person you once were will fade like a distant echo, and the person you are now will walk forward, steadfast, rational, and free. Thank you for watching this video.